we'll try again. So I just jumped on live and I'm doing this live stream and I'm like, why is nobody coming on live? And I realized because I had it set my, like, what's it called? Privacy set to only me. That was silly.
Is anyone going to come on because it's like 10 o'clock?
Maybe. Don't know. One person's on. Say hello and you're on. Yeah, so I was saying in my previous live stream, which was not even public, that I've just been and seen the movie Embrace at Croydon Cinemas. Hey Claire, Vicky, awesome to have you on. Say hi when you're on, guys. Yeah, so I just went and saw this movie Embrace at Croydon Cinemas, and it was so good. Like, it was absolutely everything that I believe in, agree with, stand for. Like, hey Lisa, so cool to have you on here. Hey Sarah. And man, it was amazing because, like, Christy, oh my gosh. Yeah, oh my gosh, the Embrace movie, amazing. So I'm really creeping on my live stream. I'm really big on this self-love movement. Obviously, it's everything I do. It's the reason I breathe. Claire, amazing. And like, the thing that I get a bit worried about is that it's going to be preaching the idea of being unhealthy, and I don't like that because I think, you know, we are on this journey. And Sarah says, hey Nate. We are on this journey, but we are on this journey because we love ourselves, and it's not really an excuse to just not be healthy or not do the right thing, right? So I was really pleased that this movie really embraced that concept, and it was, you know, it was still about living a healthy lifestyle and still making the change that we need to make towards those goals, but coming from this place of self-love and self-acceptance, and rather than coming from this like the place where a lot of people come from, like, I need to fix myself. Here's the thing. You're not broken. You're not broken. You are absolutely perfect and exactly where you need to be right now, right? Please say hi when you're on, guys. It's really cool to have you here, but just let me know. Hi, Kate Arnott. Great to have you here. And
hi, Kate.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool to see this side of things. And, like, you know, there's spoken to women, you know, women who suffer from anorexia. You know, is it Turia Pitt, the lady, the runner who got burnt, just all this stuff. And it was just,
wasn't she a model?
She was, yeah, well, she is beautiful as well, but she, you know, that life change is just huge. And but yeah, it was really, really awesome. And thanks. I have makeup on. But here's the thing. Okay, look, Claire, I was going to talk about this because a lot of people are like, hey, Vic, you look really nice tonight. And I was like,
ourselves?
No, I mean, that was really sweet. But I was like, if you had have seen me an hour ago, I was still in my basketball uniform from 9:30 this morning because I'd been working all day and just hadn't gotten changed. And it's so funny. Like, it's nice to get dressed up and feel beautiful and pretty and all that sort of thing. But what if we could live in a world where we just felt beautiful and pretty all the time?
I do.
Yeah, you do. But, you know, it's not a thing, right? Like, if we could just wake up in the morning and go, fuck yeah, got this. Like, I've got this, whatever this is for you. How amazing would that feel? Would that be? And just to really be able to fully see and accept ourselves. And it was really cool when I was watching this movie. Hey Fee, so cool to Turia Pitt. Yeah, thank you. I couldn't remember how to say her first name. Yeah, she's incredible. But, you know, like, so many people wake up and they feel that they have to take these action. You know, there are certain things they have to do before they can be accepted by society, right? Like, you know, because we're told this, you get up, you have a shower. Okay, maybe so you don't stink. Jenna, so good to have you. but you know, you have to do your hair, you have to do your makeup, you have to have a certain look, and all this sort of thing. That's like, we have to do it before we can be accepted. And it's really fucking bullshit that we can't just be accepted, but more importantly, that we can't just accept ourselves right now as we are. Whether you've gone and done your hair and makeup, which is awesome, but what if you haven't? Like, what if you have just finished a basketball game, or you finished a basketball 7 hours ago, but you still haven't had a chance to get changed, and you were still able to just look at yourself and go, got this. Like, I'm still the same person deep down that I am when my hair and makeup's done, right? And yeah, I don't know, like, I just watched this movie and I cried, and I was just so loved it, like absolutely loved it. The entire message that is sent with it. And yeah, it was really cool. And you know, even looking at, you know, they show a whole lot of people with different ranges of like disabilities and stuff like that. And you know, even that got to me, because here's the thing with self-love, it's so focused on women. It's like, it's all about women must love themselves and blah blah blah. But what about our guys? Like, what about our guys? And you know, like, I'm sitting next to Wilbs here, you can come in my live stream if you like. And this has been like a really big thing in our life, because obviously here he is. Like, a lot of you guys know Nate, and he's so awesome and he's really cool. But I'm just going to put you on the spot here. But obviously, Nate has a disability. He was in a car accident when he was 3 years old. He's paraplegic. And you can answer some questions for me. As a boy, right? Because girls...
Can I put on my confidence cap?
Sure. Because girls are sort of conditioned to being like, self-love is just a thing, right? But for you, for boys, it's kind of like they're not meant to care or whatever. But because you, I mean, we're different to the other kids your age and stuff like that, how did you deal with self-love, and what did it take for you to really love yourself? Sorry, I know I've literally just thrown you on the spot, but
That's a massive question, because like, well, you can't even sit back, can you? Because of, yeah, massive. Okay, so
I don't want to see it on the skirt. I'll move. Go.
all right. So what's the question?
Because you have a disability,
Yeah.
and you know, growing up, it's kind of expected for girls to not love themselves, whatever, which is bullshit, but it's kind of society. As a male, how did you deal with that, and actually, what did it take for you to come to this place of self-love and self-acceptance?
Fuck, that is such a massive question.
Yeah.
Like,
TikTok.
okay, so you got to realize, all right. I'm gonna take the show for a second.
Take the show.
All right, so your average guy can get up, right, and he can go and kick a footy with his mates, or he can play cricket or soccer, or run around the block, or ride bikes, and do all these like cool, fun sort of shit as you do growing up, right? And you know, even when it comes to talking to girls and stuff, right? Like, they can just like strut up to a girl and be like, "Hey, what's going on?" Like, obviously, no real physical imperfections, maybe a pimple here, or the hair isn't perfect, or whatever. And I looked at all this sort of stuff, and it was so funny. And I looked at all this sort of stuff, and I was like, well, fuck, I don't have any of that. And, you know, even at a very young teen age, you know, for me it was, I'm never going to get a girlfriend or anyone who loves me, because...
Because you didn't love yourself.
I'm in a wheelchair, right? Like, I'm gross. Like, you know, I can't just like dance with a girl. Like, I can't, you know, go for walks on the beach or do any of that romantic shit that you hear about in the movies. Like, and all those negative points where like I couldn't just go outside and kick the footy. You know, I didn't even start getting into footy until I was in my 20s. Right? All my mates like, oh, come watch footy. I'm like, man, I'd rather hang myself. You know, and it's
extreme.
No, well, that's how I felt, right? Like, and I said to my mum. Now, my mum brings this up not very often, but we have spoken about it recently because of all the changes that I've been going through. And at the age of 13, I told mum I wanted to kill myself because, well, who could love someone in a wheelchair, you know? And I fucking hated myself. And from there, I got stuck into like pretty hardcore drugs and alcohol, like before I was even 18, you know, and that continued well into my 20s, you know, and the amount of times that I tried to OD or, you know, like I just didn't give a fuck. Like I'd write myself off like hardcore as you know, a couple of times, you know, in my wheelchair going down hills on main roads. And if there was a car in the way, well, who's going to swerve first sort of thing, you know, like I had no appreciation for my life because, well, in my own eyes, I was just a piece of crippled shit that didn't mean anything to anybody. And
And do you feel like you felt that others felt like that about you because that's how you felt about yourself?
absolutely,
Yeah.
like I assume people looking at me the same way, you know, and I just didn't see any value in my life, and and like even going through all the stuff that I've been going through, you know, like I managed to get past the drugs, managed to get past the alcohol. Don't get me wrong, I still enjoy espresso martini while I'm in Bali,
Or 5.
or many, but you know, I'm totally under control, and I enjoy my life, you know, and I managed to get myself a beautiful partner, but even so, it wasn't till really very recently Vic was running through, you know, just exercises that we run through like with our guys in the confidence classroom with me, and I discovered that there was still a part of myself that I really still hated. And you know, hate is such a strong word. People say you shouldn't say you hate things because that's such a strong, and it's really fucked up because it's true. And you know, it wasn't until I'm like, well, hey, I'm a pretty cool guy, and I started like saying, you know, like things about myself, like, you know, like, do I help people? Yeah, I help people.
Hi, ads.
Hey, ads. You know, do I make people happy? Yeah, I make people happy. Do I love and do I care for others? Yeah, I do. So why can't I do that for myself? You know, and it took me a long time to realize that the love and the caring that I'm giving out to everybody else was a bee's dick of my potential because I had to love myself first, and actually accepting not myself as the wheelchair guy, but accepting myself as Nathan. And it even sounds weird saying, have you ever said your own name? It's like,
I say my name every day. Vicky.
no, but actually take that in for a second.
Vicky.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's weird, eh?
It's weird.
But, you know, accepting me as Nathan and going, you know what? I love this bloke right here. You know, look at all the stuff he can do, all the different things he's experienced, and all the things he's done for people. You know, like he has so much love to give, and I just gotta love him, and that love that I give is gonna be like times 10. You know, and so yeah, so growing up, it was fucked being in a wheelchair, and it was hard, and it was never ever really fun. But learning to love yourself, you know, like the love you receive from that is so different. And like I was never a very emotional person. I mean, sure, I got angry and that sort of emotion, but not the other way. But now, since discovering a love for myself, like I'm able to connect so much deeper with the people I talk to, and on such a new, deeper emotional level, and I actually feel complete, you know?
Yeah, and it's actually a really big thing because you can only love as hard as you love yourself. Like, and this kind of comes back
Self-worth, self-love.
yeah, it
Nice one,
comes
ads.
comes back to as well to like this sort of thing that we talk a lot about because we deal with a lot of mums, and they're like, oh, I hate myself, but I love my children, right? And I can get that, but you actually cannot give love without knowing love within, and it starts there. It starts from within, and it starts with you. And if you really love these people that you're surrounded by, then you would do the work to love yourself first, because you can actually you can give more love by having more love, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad that I did find the love, because she's right here. Yeah, I just throw that cute little spin on it. Oh, so Tessa just missed out because she only just jumped on.
Tessa's gonna have to go back and watch the replay.
Yeah, because I was all cute and shit.
But this thing, as I was just saying earlier at the start of this live stream, guys, I just went to watch this movie called Embrace, and it was just such an amazing, like, I could have written it. Seriously, I was watching it and I'm like, man, this is just like everything that I speak about and share and just love. And I did just love it so much. And I was really moved by it. But yeah, one of the parts that really got me was there was this lady with a disability, and she was, talking about her body and how much she has now grown to love herself. And it made me think of you and go, because, because you've also had this experience of being
Are you putting me in the wheelchair category?
No, but I mean, it's hard enough being able-bodied, let alone then chucking a wheelchair in the mix, or a scar, or whatever it is that is your thing, right? But
like feathered hair.
And here's the thing
So
with
beautiful.
disabilities, and this is a really big thing that Nath speaks about a lot, is we all have disability. We all have a disability. Nathan's is obvious, okay?
Mine's a physical disability, right? But and a disability. I'm trying to just run on a tangent for a second and jump onto this.
Go
right?
for it.
I hate the word disabled, right? If you disable an aircraft, it's not going to fly, right? If you
disable a computer,
you disable a computer, it doesn't work. To say that I'm disabled, it says I don't work, right? It says that I'm pretty much fucking dead, really. That's what disabled means. So at the end of this, say, lifetime, we're all disabled, but right now I'm just differently able. All right, and every other person out there with an injury or
see ads.
Gotta go, no dramas, dude. What I'm getting at is, it doesn't matter if you're injured in a car accident or you're born with some sort of thing that doesn't allow you to, walk or whatever that is.
But then there's the disabilities we don't see.
Well, this is the thing. They're not disabilities. They're different abilities.
Yeah.
And that's, it gets me on my high horse. We all of us, even those people, I'm talking to all of you right now that are watching this live stream, every single one of you have a different ability or disability, however you want to see it, or to say, I'm crippled, because you could be crippled by debt. That's your disability. Anxiety. Like an eating disorder is a disability, right? And all those sort of things, people see me in the wheelchair when I go down the shops, like mothers steer their children away from me because you don't want to catch what he's got, children, you'll end up in a wheelchair. That's the kind of mentality people have because it's so visual, right? Or you see someone walking along with a walking frame and this big hobbly body and stuff, and you're looking like, whew, that poor person. You know what? That person might have had the most greatest lifetime ever, but it's so quick to judge. But then there's the people that walk by you every day, and you're like, oh yeah, she's pretty, he's handsome, and you've got no idea that, she's suffering from she was raped as a young teenager, and he's crippled by debt from gambling or something. Like, at the end of the day, everyone suffers from something else, but so many people judge with it, like, from what they can see.
Appearance, right?
Yeah, on their appearance, without even looking beyond that to the actual person and going, hey, instead of saying this person got a disability, it's like, how can I help this person reach their true potential in who they are and help them? You know, how can I, as another human being, lift another person up? And we don't look at that shit. All right, we first off we go, oh, we've got all these problems and we don't love ourselves. Well, stop that shit and just start loving yourself, right? And then when you see someone else that's down, fucking pick them up. I'm sorry, I'm swearing so much tonight. Just get on my little horse. But you know, it's
Your little horse.
I'm a little horse, the big high one. But you know,
That
it's
was me being a horse. Sorry. No, you're amazing. Keep going.
I just lost my train of thought. Hang on, where am I?
I'm so sorry. Yeah. We judge. We judge by appearance, right?
We're so quick to judge others,
Mm.
but we still have the tenacity to judge ourselves behind closed doors.
Mm.
You know, what if we stopped judging ourselves? What if we started loving ourselves? Would we then stop judging others by appearance?
Oh, mm-hmm.
Would we then start lifting them up, showing them love, more love than we ever had because we actually love ourselves? Could you imagine the whole entire world, people like, fuck yeah, I love myself. Who can I go out and help today? Fucking everybody. Everyone's helping everybody. It would lift the whole entire world to a next plane of fucking happiness.
Yeah.
Peace out. Mic drop.
What he said. No, totally. Okay.
It's
Wow.
all you now.
Yeah. You just left me.
Thanks for listening to my rambles.
It was incredible. But yes, I mean it's absolutely true and correct, and everything that you've just said is yes. And
Wait, did I answer your questions?
I don't really know anymore.
Well, you asked how I handled it, right? Well, drugs and alcohol were the only things that got me through until one day I woke up
Yeah,
and I
it
was
was
like,
that snap point.
it was a snap point. I'd gone through my drugs, gone through my alcohol, many failed relationships because while I didn't think I was worth it, they saw something in me and I didn't bring that forward. They left me. I was in a shit place in my life, and one day I said, you know what? Shit has to change. And so I started looking out for number one.
Well, here on this movie tonight, they talked about there's normally 4 things that occur that people have to go through before they make the change, right? And we obviously know this and teach this a lot. They spoke about it being divorce, fucking redundancy. Oh my God, I can't even remember.
Trauma. Is that one of them?
Yeah, I can't remember what the 4 things were, but it was like, yeah, like there's 4 things, and it's true. I mean, so many people wait until they get, it was like death, divorce. Fuck, I can't remember. Anyway, they get to this point where it's like they literally have hit rock bottom before they're prepared to make a change. But what if we just decide disease, death? Yeah, right. Thank you so much, Vicky. What was the other one I said? Divorce. Disease, death, divorce, redundancy. Thank you. So they get to these points where they've had to have this life shock, right? But what if we made the change now? What if we didn't allow ourselves to get to that point? Because we've done that, right? We've allowed ourselves to get to the lows, right? And to the point where we were going to have to sell our house, and to the point where we fucking hated ourselves.
Hang on a sec.
And
I almost disagree. And I didn't see the movie. But a wise person once told me that in order to reach your highest of highs, you must at least experience your lowest of lows.
yeah, don't get me wrong. No, I get exactly what you're saying there.
I didn't see the movie, so I don't know what they're talking about.
But what was that? People wait for this to happen, or like they just make no life change, and then next minute, what if you fucking die, right? I mean, obviously, but what if somebody else died? Or you have to go through the divorce. What if you didn't have to? What if you could have a year earlier made a change, a simple change towards self-love, so that you could then give more love and love like fucking hard, love deeply and seriously, not just because it's cute and not because it's like a buzzword to love somebody and I love ya, whatever, like to actually see people. And you can't do that if you haven't seen yourself completely. And if you haven't gone to those places and brought up, or I'm going to say the S word, shame. And if you haven't been completely vulnerable and just fucking said, this is me, to yourself, you're saying this, right? This is me, accept me. Because nobody else is going to do that if you can't actually just do it for yourself.
I'm going to throw in just a random off the topic kind of thing, which you just said, which kind of made a lot of sense to me.
I'm glad.
How many of our viewers have seen the movie Avatar?
Give
I
us-
won't wait for a reply, but in the movie Avatar, these alien tribes people, when they first meet each other, they go, I see you, right? They don't see them, they see into them, right? They see their true self, right? When was the last time that you went to your husband or your wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, or even your kids going, you know, I actually see you. Yeah, and actually fucking seen them for who they are.
More
Not
than
just,
this, more than this.
yeah, none of this, but actually seeing them in here, you know, in their heart. When have you let them know that and let them see that in you? That's a good point.
But when have you looked as well, right? And actually thought about
Well,
it.
that's what I said. Well, like, what was...
But if you haven't, if it's not something that's like a regular thing, I would strongly suggest starting with yourself, because you can only see each other, you can only see others as far as you have seen yourself. So, you know, when you look in the mirror, look further than this fucking physical body that we put in for, 80 years or whatever, for, because we are more than that. We are more than a body. We are so much more, so much more. And yet we get so caught up in this, and
Are you just making noises now?
yeah, because I'm just sort of like, my brain went to...
I think what Vic's saying is, instead of getting caught up in society's little web of trickery, look deep inside yourself and enable yourself to look into others, love yourself and love each other, right? That there is no better message for anybody in this world than to actually love, right? People always fuck up. It's human nature to fuck up, because when you do, you're learning a lesson, right? A lesson on how not to do something, so that the next time a situation that's the same or similar pops up, you can deal with it in a better way and you can grow, right? Because you grow from lessons. So looking at someone who's done something that you think is like freaking stupid, for a second go, I'm not going to think like that, right? Because they're going to grow, and I'm going to accept that they're growing, and I'm going to love them for the fact that they're doing that.
Yeah.
And instead of judging them on those things that we deem to be stupid, love them for the growth that they're having.
Well, when you're judging others or something about them, whether it's physical, whether it's a trait that they've got, when you actually have that judgment within you, it's because it's something that's within you that needs to be rectified. So, it could be
what
something...
you see in others, you see in yourself.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're judging someone's appearance, it's probably because you're not happy with your own appearance. Or if you're judging someone's personality, maybe they're too outgoing, it's because maybe you wish you were more outgoing, or you wish you were less outgoing, or whatever it may be. And it's always the way. So, I mean, a really big thing for me, because as human beings, we are natural judges. And when I find myself going into this judgy mode, I just look within and go, okay, what about this do I need to learn right now, and what do I need to heal within? But you know what? Even when I was watching here, let me be real with you tonight, because if you guys were at the movie tonight, you'll know what I mean. When I was watching this movie tonight, there were moments of judgment. All right, they had this thing where they just had pictures of different vaginas, right? And I literally sat there, I was like, which one am I? Right? I was like, that one looks a bit odd, right? You know what I mean? And I'm like, no, Vicky.
What sort of movie did you go and watch?
It was.
Oh, I just went and saw this movie with all the vaginas in it.
It was self-love, Nathan.
Well, like, yeah, this still sounds like the wrong sort of.
No,
went to a
that
movie
was
about
only-
self-love with vaginas.
It was only a little part about it, but you know, like, yeah, there are definitely times when you have these moments where you're like, you find yourself judging and go, okay, what do I need to heal within myself right now? And I think that's a really cool message for you guys. If you take anything out of our ramblings tonight, apart from Nathan's awesome, like, he went flow before, which was great. But when you find yourself judging somebody else, just sit back for 1 second and say, what about me do I need to heal right now? And what is it that's really bothering me?
Yeah, I just one quick thing on that
They're
too.
all laughing at the vaginas because they all know what I'm talking about. You're all like, which one am I? Which one am I? Which is my vagina?
All right,
I could pick my
I just want to say one more thing about this quick to judge thing as well. A lot of the time, people talk to you, right, and they could go, it could be anything. Your hubbies say shit, you say shit to them, and then people bite back, right? It's like you might be giving them a suggestion like, hey, why don't you cut your hair? Or like, Vic, because it's so friggin' long. You know, the way I say it is, you know, probably not the best way to say it or whatever. And Vic could have gotten all like, what's wrong with my fucking hair? Right? But at that time, it would be like, well, what is Nate trying to tell me? Right? Like
I'm so confused. Go.
no, what I'm saying is, I mean, it's a poor example because I was just running off the top of my head. But, you know, a lot of time people talk to us, right? And it's a case of we react in different ways,
Yeah.
right? Like we had a client the other day who, you know, we were talking with her and she said, you know, my hubby said this, and normally I would bite back at him, but I took a second to see, hey, he's actually trying to help me. You know, maybe it didn't come out the right way, or maybe it's just how he speaks. But I see now, by taking a second and not going into judgment on what he said, and actually took it in, that and grew from my heart space. And like I listened to her talk about this, and I was like, wow, that is such an eye opener I never even thought of.
And it's so relative to the work that she's done on herself as well.
Exactly.
She's done the work on herself so that now she can look at others from a different heart space and from more of a curious, or what are they trying to do here?
What am I getting from this?
Yeah.
And it is about self-love. If you can love yourself enough to be confident in within yourself, anyone else's, not so much judgment, but anything that people say to you, you shouldn't really bite back, right? Because you go, what is this person trying to tell me? And look at it from another angle.
Yeah. All right. Good chat. We're going to jump off.
Can we fist bump?
Yes. Let's remind these guys that are on, amazing people, let's remind them about our 28-day self-love challenge that starts on Monday. And you know what? This was actually very coincidental that it fell in line with this movie. But of course, I mean, the universe is always exactly perfect in its timing. And always says
yes if you ask it the right questions.
And so it's been incredible. But we do have a 28-day self-love challenge that starts on Monday, this Monday coming, the 14th of November. And pretty much I've got some pretty freaking cool people secured who are going to be helping with this challenge. So big names that are going to be jumping on board. And
some of them you may know, some of them you may not. Nathan Wilburn will be on there.
Yeah, cool.
I know him. He's a cool bloke. He likes to wear his hat backwards.
Yeah, but we have big names that are coming, which is really amazing.
My name's big.
Yeah. Okay. And
I write it in capitals.
And I mean, we've put a guarantee, like a full guarantee out there that After 28 days, if you do not look at yourself differently with a greater appreciation, you get your money back. So, I mean, really, you can't lose. It's the best
It's a
Christmas present.
win-win.
The best Christmas present you could buy for yourself, the best way to end the year, and do it because you're worth it, not because you want to fix yourself or anything like that. We're not coming from that space. Do it because you're ready. You're ready to fully embrace yourself and see yourself completely, and have come from that place of self-love.
And just know, we love you guys.
Truly do, and really appreciate you guys being on with our ramblings. And I've had a couple of reds and the movies too.
That does not surprise me, the way
Well-
you came floating through the door.
While looking at vaginas. So it's been a good night. All right. Well, let's go.
All right, well, thank you all for jumping on this live stream and listening to our rambles. But it's night time.
Mel, thank you so much for your comments. So much love to you. Looks really like dark. I'm just gonna.
You're so orange.
Nay.
No, just in this light. You
Oh.
weren't before.
Oh gosh.
So
see
look,
what I have
compared to me,
do?
look.
Oh yeah, keep it there. All right. Let's go. We're gonna go.
All right,
Much love
guys.
to you guys.
Remember, love yourselves.
It's your life.
Own it.